Okay, what are we going to do tonight? You know you're asking yourself. You know it. Go ahead and ask. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Some Vietnamese. I'll just go ahead and say it now to get this out of the way. Vietnamese food is probably one of my favorite cuisines. Anyway. And I think what makes it very unique is its influence that the French had on its cuisine. Most notably, the use of baguettes and their banh mi's. The French, during their occupation around late 1800s, brought bread, butter, and things like that. And you can also see it in a lot of Vietnamese desserts, cakes and torts and gâteaux. You can really see their influence until about 1954, when Ho Chi Minh really got sick of it and said, you know what? I've had it with these bastards. I'm kicking them out. And then they crushed the French army and got rid of them. There's a shocker. Anyway, what are we going to make? We're going to make a caramel pork with black pepper. Fast, easy, very, very good. Unusual little technique that I'll show you. In our pan, we have oil. This is a peanut oil. Getting hot, because it takes a while. So, these are boneless center-cut pork chops. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of them. Yeah, we'll take all of them. Hell with it. We're going to cut them into about quarter, half-inch slices. So while I'm doing that, you can just find something to entertain yourself with. Surf around for some porn. What goes better with dinner? Anyway, so once we get our pork cut, we're going to prep all our ingredients first, and then we're just going to assemble the dish real fast. Pork's cut. Onion, white onion, just sliced. Thin. Then we take our pork. We season it with a little salt. Then we put it, toss it into our pan. It's still not hot. We're going to let that brown for a second. I'm going to wipe the dead pork off my hand. So while that's going, we're going to take our onion. Oh, we'll throw some more in there. Garlic, of course. One. Two. And three. Just going to throw that anywhere. Slice thin. Put it in with our onion. We're going to move our pork around a little bit. We're going to try to get it brown. And we'll come back to that in 1 second. Now here's the unusual technique that I was going to tell you about. Hot pan, hot, 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 for once. Into that pan, we're going to put some sugar. About a quarter cup. And we're going to kind of move it around a little. You can see it's starting to caramelize already. For once, it's actually hot. Chicken stock. This happens to be a 79-cent can of chicken stock. And as you can see, sugar's starting to caramelize, and it won't take long if the pan's hot. You've got to watch it because it'll burn. Then you'll be all pissed off. And you'll throw the pan, and then the caramel will get all on you, and you'll freak out because it's going to be so hot. We'll add a little bit more sugar. I once had a chef colleague of mine get so pissed off at something I was having him do that he took a whole pan of hot caramel and threw it all the way across the kitchen and smashed into the pot sink, which put an amazing dent in it that's there to this day. And if that had flown over somebody, well, it's like molten plastic. Anyway, you see where we're at. Nice and golden brown. We have our chicken stock. The chicken stock is going to dissolve in the sugar. And we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Fish sauce. Generous few shakes. That's it. That's our Vietnamese caramel. We're going to trade places here. Into our pan with the pork, our onions and garlic. You're going to let them cook for about 4 or 5 minutes. See? There's nothing to it. Now, in the meantime, I'll show you how we're going to set up the garnish for this plate. Now, Vietnamese food is known for its very simple use of fresh herbs. Fresh herbs, fresh carrots, fresh vegetables. Not a lot of... they're preserved with all their clean rawness and freshness. And that is contrast to the hot foods that are generally served on it. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to shred some lettuce. Iceberg, the most underrated lettuce in the world. You know, when the big foodie movement happened, all the really great foods got kind of pushed aside. That's what happens. It's kind of like high school. The pedigree foods are the jocks. The things like iceberg lettuce are the regular people. Now, what are we going to do, Pete? Tell me. We're going to put our caramel in with our pork. We're going to take some black pepper. It's already ground. Can you grind your own? Absolutely. Will it be better? Yes. Why don't I do it? I don't feel like it. We're going to add about 2 teaspoons of black pepper to that. And all we're going to do is just let this caramel and pork cook down to a glaze. And then we'll be done. So that, on my stove, should take about, I don't know, I'm going to guess and say about an hour and a half. But in the meantime, while that's going, we have our lettuce in the bowl, rice. Look, it's rice. I cooked it earlier, since you should know how to cook rice. If there's anything you need to learn how to cook, it's rice. Because if you're poor, you can buy rice and you can just eat plain rice. And we'll put that right in the middle. That's still going to go a while. But it's almost there. But the addition, that's called a Vietnamese caramel. And that in itself, you'll see the contrasting of sweet and salty very, very prevalent in Vietnamese cooking. Fish sauce and sugar, fish sauce and sugar, fish sauce and sugar. And that sort of balance is what creates a lot of its unique flavors in their dishes. So it's got another, I don't know. We'll give it another minute. So I've run out of things to say. Banh mi's. Go get one. Baguette, pickled vegetables, or sometimes fresh vegetables, and all kind of weird, funky stuff on them if you want to get weird and funky. And the other thing you can notice about the French influence is their use of a pâté, which is a smooth, spreadable pâté, on the banh mi's. Don't correct me in my pronunciations. I'm an American, and if I mispronounce a foreign word, I don't like to be corrected on it. It's like people that say, I'm going to go get some pho, and they go, it's pronounced pho. And you're like, you know what? You know what? I don't want to go now. Because you're one of them, the culture vulture. Okay, now you can see the pork, the sauce is starting to get thick. Starting to coat our pork. Give it a taste. Shocker, it's perfect. We're going to give it another minute just to get a wee bit thicker, a little bit more of a gloss. You can do this with chicken, which is what I was actually going to do, but the store didn't have any boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And I said, you know what? I'll get this pork, $3. An onion, 79 cents. But Vietnamese food is amazingly light, vibrant. It just makes you feel good to eat it. And very intensely flavored. And it is a favorite a lot of most of my friends, both of them. And if I had my pick of one cuisine that I would eat the rest of my life, it'd be Vietnamese. So here we go. Turn it this way so you can get an even slightly better view of it. We'll put that in our bowl. We're not going to eat that. Why? Because it fell onto a board that has raw meat cut on it. I generally don't worry about stuff like that, but, you know, sometimes I do. I don't worry about pork so much as chicken and things like that. I do get a little sketchy about chicken because that shit will make you sicker than that Celine Dion video where she sings You Shook Me All Night Long. And there you go. That's it. It's your Vietnamese caramel pork with black pepper. Later.